How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I Solomon reporting live. I had a couple things that I really wanted to touch upon. I had been wanting to touch upon them since yesterday, and I had most of you know about me. I've done 17 years of incarceration in Louisiana Department of Corrections, and with that being said, I have to emphasize this a lot, and I don't know if there's guys that and their families that would realize this, but we have a close community of people that think of the veterans, how the veterans went off and they had their war buddies and they fought these battles together and they came back closer. Some of them didn't come back at all. Well, you can kind of like use that same analogy and situation for people that's done long periods of time. So you're talking about 15, 20 summers and Christmases and everything else around other men that they previously may have known or might have known at all, but we a lot of us got a lot of time in like 99 2000, so all those people that got those 20 years, 85% or 25 are home or near to coming home. And people don't realize, and I think there's a stigma on us already for when we come home to think that we're ex-cons, we're this, we're that. And I mean, I don't feel as bad because they have the same stigma against veterans and the people that was fighting for this country, right? And they're shunned when they come here. They can't get jobs because of what? They was exposed to violence and they were killing people. They were doing other dirty works that other people wouldn't do, and so they wouldn't have blood on their hands. But when you come back from war, from so Iraq or Afghanistan, they had blood on their hands, and they can't progress back or regress to revert back to civilian life. And it's the same thing with prisoners. So I said all that to say this. I've been out here almost going on 4 years, and like I said, I did 17. And you don't just wash that off of you. 17 years. When I went to jail, I was 17 years old, and I came home, I was 34. I'm approaching my 38th birthday, and I can't say that it's gotten any easier or any harder since I've been out here. It's just a different kind of environment. It's a different kind of environment because I'm used to handling things a certain way in prison, and it armed me with the aggression that I couldn't disarm myself with. The same aggression that protected me and let me make it out of the door. Because you can't in prison and in life in general. Don't get me wrong. You can't unsee certain things. Certain things will just stick with you for a long period of time, and you can't shake them. And one of those things I can't shake is knowing that everybody around me in this dorm or this flat for 17 years either disliked me, liked me, secretly wanted to hurt me, openly wanted to hurt me. So I have to protect myself because I don't have any family members. But the so-called brothers that I met in prison that I really gravitated to and grew to, where I can tell another grown man, man, I love you, man, I love you. We done went through deaths, divorces, time, giving back time, getting more time, and just holidays and everything. We're around each other, we're looking at each other, but it desensitized us in a lot of ways because of the things we've seen, the vulgar things we've seen, people getting killed in jail, the correctional officers treating us like we're nothing. There's nothing correcting about the Department of Correction. Anything that you do is upon yourself. If you want to be a better criminal or a worse person, you can do that too. If you want to educate yourself, you can do that too. But that still doesn't arm us with the tools that we need when we come out here to really see life for what it is out here now. And you have a lot of negativity going on. You got a lot of things going on in the world, and we're so used to just being us, it's hard for us to ask for help. And that's dealing with relationships, and that's a whole nother topic. But I was talking to somebody I hadn't spoke to in a while, and I seen he had posted something on Facebook, and I care, and I really love people, and it's just a lot of people won't let you love them, so I kind of keep my distance. But when I'm compelled by God, thank God, by Jesus, that to tell this person something or to reach out and to be a open ear to this person, I do, and I try to answer the call, because that was a promise I made to God when I said, if you tell me to go, I will, and I do that in blind faith. But I've been blessed in a lot of ways, but I come from a speaking background. I come from being able to be expressive and passionate, and I've harnessed that, and I've been keeping it to myself. But despite the things that's going on in my life, I'm still blessed, and God always has me. Even in my lowest of my low, I know that He's still there, and I accept that, and I pray. That's why I praise God every day. But that still doesn't come without my struggles, and I know that's a lot of people on Facebook will be acting like they're doing very well, and they're so happy, and their life is so perfect, but that's just a facade. God, and then it leaves other people to look at that and use that as a measuring stick, which really that is not even a reality for you. But I think it's about time where people just just start coming out with their real selves and their real feelings. And I think we'll come to the commonality: man, women, child, people that's been in jail, not in jail. We're all going through the same difficulties as far as trying to adjust, readjust, and the world's changing drastically. But nobody wants to ask for help, and it's a real big picture, and it's a real touchy subject for a lot of people. But going on with my encounter with this person, and I'm gonna leave nameless, what I'm saying, because it's anonymous, and I talk to a lot of people, but it's a guy that I did time with, a guy that I really looked to on I put him on a high, pedestal, like really, he showed me who he really was, because in jail you find out who people really are, because as a man you don't have the guns, you don't have the cars, you don't have the women, you don't have anything to perform for. So this person is really you, and I got to know this particular person, and he's always been a joy to be around and a solid person. So whenever I talk to him and I'm like, yeah, how you been? Because the regular formalities of conversation, and we haven't spoken in a while. And I had been seeing him on Facebook, and according to Facebook, I'm saying everything's good, everything's straight, everything's lovely. And I asked him, how you been? You doing good? And he said, no, I'm not doing good. I'm not all right. You know what I'm saying? That time is still bothering me. Man, I have problems with my relationship. And he went on to tell me everything that was going on, and it was a mirror of exactly what I'm going through. And we have a problem with authority. We're natural rebels, but that can be a good thing and a bad thing. And the people that I'm talking about, these are good people that just been in bad situations for so long. This is their natural instinct to do things a certain way. And it bleeds off into your relations with your family, with your wife or your spouse and your children, because I'm so used to dealing with hardcore men, and what I'm saying, I'm going 10 years with not so much as a dap. There's no hug. I'm not walking around just hugging these these other convicted felon men that's around me, for numerous charges. But when you do that, you desensitize yourself through the physical touch, the emotional touch, that what I'm saying, and it's been like that for a long time, where big boys wasn't supposed to cry when we was growing up. So this big boys turned into men that wouldn't cry and felt like they couldn't, so the emotions were bottled up. And now we need an outlet. And you have the Me Too movement with the women, and I respect that and I salute it. But now it's time for the kings to regain their place in the kingdom, and really grab a hold of it and be responsible for it. But at the same time, you have to understand, and the people that I'm speaking about and know what I'm talking about. It's hard to just readjust and to actually go from being to where you have to be so strong. And it goes back to a quote, and I really love quotes. The problem with always being strong is no one ever asks you if you're all right. And that's how I feel, because I put on that facade for so long. I'm good, but I'm really not. And I said that to reiterate, I'm feeling exactly how he's feeling. So, and it's women too. If you ask men, women, children, everything's I'm all right, I'm good, because of ego, or too much confidence, false humility, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's time for us to put all of that down and say, look, I'm not all right. I'm going through this, and like I said, I'll start it. I've been home almost 4 years. I'm still surprised by technology, the rudeness of people, the little things as far as how people drive. I know these are just small things to other people that's been dealing with them, but for us to just come out here and just hit the ground running, and yeah, I'm all right, and just keep on going, you're gonna run out of fuel, or you're gonna put all that pressure inside and you're gonna blow up. And that's happened to me. And I've had so many different incidents with dealing with people and anxiety. Didn't even realize I had anxiety. Now, mind you, I'm not afraid of anything but God, or anyone but God. But I've had situations that scared me, getting in the car in the morning and just almost having a panic attack and not knowing what it was, and being too strong to even tell anyone when I had a panic attack, or I had chest pains, or I had sweats, because I'm not knowing what it is. We're not allowed to feel weak as men or hardened criminals. So, like I said, some people think this is a weakness, and sometimes I just wish there were situations where I could cry, where I could get some of this pressure out. And I know I'm not the only one. And like I said, I've been through so many different things in relationships, that failed, until I got to the one that really showed me a mirror of myself, and actually gave me an outlet to be vulnerable with her without having to worry about her using it against me later. So it allowed me to be able to relieve some of this pressure, but I still have things inside of me that I want to talk about, and that I want to realize why I'm this way, and I want to soften. But it's society has to let me soften, and the collective has to accept me. And a lot of people's not gonna be brave enough to say, this is what I'm going through. I'm feeling weak here. Because don't think that just because you have finances, or you have a good job, or you have a nice car, that all those things translate into happiness. Because I know people that have bags of money, however they got it doesn't matter, and they still haven't achieved true happiness, true nirvana, to where you have a freedom to just be yourself. And that's how I feel at the end of the day. And as I'm wrapping this up, I believe in a heaven, and I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe I'm going to heaven. And when I say that, not that I want to leave here because I have to fulfill my purpose, and I want to fulfill my purpose because I signed on for this, and I know everything that I'm supposed to do. The answer's inside me, but it still doesn't make life less hard. But that's the struggle. The struggle is to keep going. But I know there's a heaven, and I know that once we ascend, we don't really die. Nothing really dies. We're energy. E equals MC squared. Einstein said it, that we are pure energy, so we cannot be destroyed. Just like energy can only be transformed into another material, or to another energetic form, but it can never be destroyed. You can change the shape of it, like Bruce Lee said, be like water, and you just form fit to whatever you go through, and know that you're supposed to be going through that at that particular time. But there is a heaven, and there is a God. And all I want to do is God's work, and I want to be comfortable doing it. I want to be myself. And I know that once we ascend, there's no fear, there's no judgment, there's no hate, because everybody knows everybody. It's a transparency. See, I see you in heaven, I see your pain, I see your struggles, but there's no judgment. I accept it because we are one. And you think about it, if you got a pool and you separate one drop from the pool, you take it out, you look at it, this is the individual. Now you put it back into the pool. Now, where does a pool start and the drop begins, and vice versa? I've said all that to mean it's one love. We're all collective, no matter what color, creed, social background that you come from. We're all the same. And whenever we leave, we all leave, and hopefully on the same train to nirvana, to a true peace in love and happiness. And that's all I want, and that's all I want for you. And I just hope that everybody's having a good day, and everybody's just going through the struggle of life as best way they can, and just kiss your girl, and kiss your kids, and appreciate exactly what you have. And for you women, you queens, kiss your king. Let him know he's a king. Give him his crown back, straighten it for him. Don't ridicule him. And that's only if you're a true queen. And that's a whole nother topic, and I would like to talk about that, the relationship aspect of men in prison and come home and are in relationships with these good women, these good strong women that have made something for themselves and have been independent for so long. It's a paradox, and we have to meet again. The kings and the queens have to come together again for the sake of the children, and we are the ones that break the generational curse. And I just hope that everybody receives this message, and just know that I love you and that God loves you, and I just wish you the best. Thank you.